In this video, we'll be discussing order of operations with fraction bars. So when solving order of operations problems with fraction bars, it's important to solve all of the problem on the top or in the numerator before solving the problem on the bottom, which is the denominator. So once you've solved the two pieces, you can then divide the numerator by the denominator. So let's do some examples and see what do I mean by that. So if we look at the first example, we have a fraction here because we have a fraction bar, and we're going to solve all of the top and then we're going to use the bottom. So there's two options for doing this. You can work the problem side to side, which is what we're going to do first. So we're going to do the grouping first. 8 minus 8 is 1, or I'm sorry, is 0. Do math correctly. Times 1, and then it's over 9. Now I'm going to finish the top of that problem, so I'm going to do 0 times 1, which is going to be 0, still over 9, and then 0 divided by 9, because the fraction bar just means division, is equal to 0. So that's your answer to problem number 1. Now let's look at problem number 2, and let's work it a little bit differently. So some people may get a little bit confused when you work side by side with the fractions. So in this one, I'm kind of going to work it up and down. So I'm going to do the top. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So that's going to be the numerator. Now I'm going to work the bottom and go down. So I have to do the grouping first. 2 plus 3 is 5 to the second power. And then I'm going to solve 5 to the second power, which is 5 times 5 is 25. Then I'm going to bring the two pieces back together, 5 over 25. Now remember, this bar means division, or you could just simplify the fraction. I'm going to simplify by 5, or I could just do, I guess I can't divide this because the 25 is not in the numerator. So I'm just going to divide it by 5, and I'm going to simplify the fraction, and I get 1/5 as my answer for problem number 2. If we scroll down and we look at example number 3, we need to work the fraction part first, and then we can work with the rest of the grouping. So I'm going to do 13 times 4. 13 times 4 is 52 over 2 with a grouping of 5 minus 13 to the 0 power. Then I'm going to finish this fraction. 52 divided by 2 is 26. Now, if this fraction wouldn't have divided perfectly, I would have said simplify this fraction, or you could just leave it till the end, work with this grouping. But because this divided perfectly, I'm just going to finish it out and make it 26. So either one would be okay. Then I'm going to finish the inside grouping. I have to do the exponent first. 13 to the 0 power is 1. Bring everything else down. Don't forget your grouping symbols. Do inside the grouping, 5 minus 1 is 4, and that's still times 26. And then 26 times 4 gives you an answer of 104. Okay? And then for problem number 4, we're going to use our fraction skills because we have a fraction times a whole number here, and we have to do the multiplication first. Use your fraction rules. Lonely whole numbers go over 1. We're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator. We're not going to worry about this back part yet, this minus 3 plus 7. So 1 times 27 is going to be 27. 3 times 1 is 3. And then we still have minus 3 plus 7 in the back. Now, this division right here, 27 divided by 3 divides perfectly, so that'll be 9 minus 3 plus 7. If it didn't divide perfectly, you can just work with it as a fraction, and you would do the fraction minus a whole number, and you would put the 3 over 1. But because this worked out perfectly, we're just going to use it as 9. Subtraction first. 9 minus 3 is 6 plus 7, and the final answer, 6 plus 7, is equal to 13. So I would like for you to pause the video, and I want you to try number 1 on your own. So if we look at number 1, you're going to solve the numerator first. 4 to the second power is 16 over 2 to the second power. Then I'm going to solve the denominator, 2 to the second power. So that's 16 over 4. And then 16 can just divide by 4, so the answer is 4. Go ahead and pause the video and do number 2. In number 2, you should have solved the numerator first, 3 to the third power, which is 27. And then the denominator, 1 to the second power is 1. So we have 6 plus 27 over 1. 27 divided by 1 is just 27. And then final answer, 6 plus 27 should have given you 33.